Welcome to the I Will Be Your Church podcast, Virtual Sanctuary. Be strengthened today with the truth of God's love so that you can say to your families, your friends, your co-workers, and your social media worlds, I will be your church. Your host for today's episode is Joanna Church. There's this idea in the world right now that if you aren't cursing someone whose ideology or political or religious beliefs are different from yours, or that you consider harmful, that you are somehow endorsing those beliefs. It's even become in vogue to wish death on each other. Looking around the news and my social media feeds, that's pretty much what I see. We are all just cursing each other. And I have one question today. How's that working out for us? I wonder what would happen if for just one day, instead of cursing, we started blessing each other, praying for each other and for our leaders and for our enemies. I know, someone's listening asking, how does blessing and praying for people change anything in this world? And if I'm blessing or praying for someone who I feel is harmful to me or others, it feels like an endorsement of them, and I don't want that. Well, I think part of the reason that we feel this way is that we have lost the belief that our words have power. I mean, yeah, we know that wealthy people, world leaders, celebrities, their words seem to carry power. But I wanted to remind the rest of us that our words have power too. I really like that quote that says, be the change you want to see in the world. And all I can think is cursing each other doesn't seem to be changing anything. I wonder what would happen if we started blessing each other. You know, the world would tell you that people can't change. Drug addicts can't change. Alcoholics can't change. Cheaters, murderers, liars can't change. Politicians, especially, cannot change. The world says that you and I can't change. But I don't know about anyone else. I have changed. I am not the same person I was 10, 20, 30 years ago. I don't think the same way. I don't behave the same way. And the world is trying to tell us right now that we shouldn't even try to reach out to others in the hope that they can change, that we shouldn't even give them the space to possibly change. There's a pastor out in California, a former football player named Miles McPherson, who wrote a great book on starting the conversation about racism for the average person, just trying to understand what it's all about. The book is called The Third Option, and I really recommend it. Around the time he published it, he interviewed a former white supremacist. That's right, a former white supremacist. He changed. He didn't think the same. His heart was changed. Imagine that. The people we are cursing every day can actually be changed in their hearts. They weren't birthed that way. Someone spoke evil into their hearts. But those hearts can have love spoken into them, and their hearts can change. This man said, that was interviewed by this pastor, said that he was changed when he felt the love of God in his heart, not just for himself, but for the people who didn't share his skin color that he had been cursing and fighting against. Well, isn't that what we want at the end of the day? I don't want all white supremacists to die. I want their hearts to be filled with the love of God towards themselves and towards others. I don't want Republicans or Democrats to die. I want their hearts to be filled with the love of God towards themselves and towards others. I don't want cheaters, murderers, liars, drug addicts to die. If I did, I would be dead now. I'm so glad that the people in my life didn't wish me ill when I was a cheater, when I was a liar. I'm glad they gave me the space to change. I don't want any of those people to die. I want their hearts to be filled with the love of God towards themselves and towards others. I am not saying we stop fighting against injustice and hate. I'm just suggesting that we don't fight hate with more hate. We don't fight injustice with more injustice. We don't fight those who curse us with more cursing. Because so far, when I look around, that doesn't seem to be working to do anything but creating more hate, more injustice, and more cursing. Well, let's see how Jesus dealt with a corrupt local politician and Roman collaborator of his day, the dreaded tax collector. So Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus, and he was a chief tax collector and was very wealthy. They got wealthy because they cheated the people out of more taxes than they were supposed to. Not a good guy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but being a short man, he couldn't because there was a big crowd surrounding Jesus. So he runs ahead and he climbs a sycamore fig tree to see him since Jesus was heading that way. So when Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, "Zacchaeus, come down here immediately. I must stay at your house today." So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly into his home. Now, all the people, this great crowd of people, saw this happen and they began to mutter, "He has gone to be the guest of a sinner, the guest of an evil politician, this evil tax collector, this Roman collaborator. Why would Jesus go be a guest at his house?" Which was a great honor then. I think we've all heard the muttering of the crowds these days. Well, I don't know what happened in that home that day, but the Lord had a profound impact on Zacchaeus' life. And how do I know this? Because after Jesus went into his home, broke bread with him, and spoke with him, Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, "Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor, and if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay them back 4 times the amount." Jesus said to him, "Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too, this tax collector, this sinner, he is also a son of Abraham," or we would say today, he's a son of God. So even in his sin, salvation can still come to him. Jesus went on to say, "For the Son of Man came to seek and to save what was lost." So what if Jesus had walked past that man because the crowd said that he should curse Zacchaeus and not associate with him? Well, first, Zacchaeus himself would not have encountered the love of God for himself, but he also wouldn't have encountered the love of God for the people he had been stealing from. He would never have given his possessions away to pay back with interest those he had cheated. So that same crowd who was cursing Zacchaeus and hoping Jesus would curse Zacchaeus too, ended up being the very people that were the recipients of his changed heart. I know it's hopeful of me, but maybe today we could all stop the cursing and instead see, where can we bless? And maybe we could each choose today to be the change that we want to see in this world. If you feel blessed by the I Will Be Your Church podcast, please subscribe so you never miss a day, and then share it with your friends. Check out our website, iwillbeyourchurch.com, To learn more about us, check out Ben's blog, connect with us on social media, and become part of this church family movement.